A very big welcome to you, my dear Taurus. The sun is in Cancer, and when the sun is in Cancer, we want to bring love into the world. We want to shine that love out, and the success is then felt like an emotional success. And so here we have the 19. When we unite these two numbers, then we get the 10 and the 7. The 17 is the star, and the sun is a dwarf star. The star is Aquarius, and here we have the age of Aquarius because Pluto is in Aquarius for 20 years. So whatever we do now will benefit the deeper aspects of our soul. We want to go out, and then there we get the strength, the 8, right? When we unite the 17. The 8 is then the sign that says, well, infinite is the combination or the union of inhale and exhale. The sun then, of course, gives the light to the moon, which is today in your sign. And when that happens, I get a moment of feeling you through the subconscious. And so here we get the 18. When we unite it, we get the 9. The 9 and the 5 is the 14, and that's temperance. Find within yourself always that aspect of you that finds an equilibrium between these two pillars. And there are two pillars here as well, right? And so the 5 is left. So you are, by looking deeper within, the reborn as that Hierophant, as that high priest that you are to yourself. We're then going to look at Venus, because Venus is ruling you, and Venus is the Empress and is always love, beauty, but also the money. We're also going to look at Uranus, because Uranus is the Fool, and Uranus has moved into Gemini. For the next 7 years, we will have a different type of communication coming to us. It's going to be really intense, and I think what's important is that you understand we can take a new step into that change that is heading towards us. Then we're going to look at the King of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles is divided. We have the King of Pentacles with above the Emperor. That's between the 10th and the 20th of April. Is your birthday there? Then this reading or this specific combination is in the reading before this one, where the moon was in the Emperor, right? Then we have another combination, and that is the classical Taurus. That's between the 21st of April to the 9th of May. Is your birthday there? Then you're this classical variation of the Emperor, and this is happening today in this reading. And then we have another combination, and that's here above the Emperor, and below we see the Knight of Swords, and that's between the 10th to the 20th of May. So understand that this is important, because these combinations are changing the way we look at Taurus or Gemini, etc., right? Above is always the soul aspect, and below it's the human aspect. And so in this combination, which we are going to do today, we see that combination. Back to the last reading where we had Gemini Sun giving Taurus Moon the light. We also had the station Jupiter in Cancer, which is going to stay a year there, and the summer solstice. And so the King of Pentacles is getting you working on your intuition, and the Knight of Swords is getting don't hold on to your purse. So I always check if there is a reoccurring card, and there is one that I see, and so we can begin the reading. Before we get to the reading, I want to let you know that I'm taking a break. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue this channel or if I'm going to change it. For the moment, I'm just taking a break. I have so many other things that I want to do, and sometimes this takes some time up of my life. So I'm not gonna be sure what I'm doing with it, but I'm gonna let you know. But for the moment, I'm just gonna take a pause. So we begin with the King of Pentacles. He's getting the Knight of Cups, and that Knight came last time as well. And it's important to understand that this is an aspect of you, but it's Pisces, right? Pisces is the number 12, the 12 and the 2 is the 14, and that's Sagittarius, right? That's Temperance. That's actually the combination between here the Hierophant and the Moon. We also got here the 14, and for me numbers are important, right, because they are very accurate. And so the 14 is saying, well, find an equilibrium, and it's almost like this Pisces is coming into your life and saying, well, we got to move forward with love. You are still looking back into something where you maybe hold on to, but now here Pisces is saying, let's move on, let's go forward. The 5 is left, which is then again you as the Hierophant. What is coming from Pisces? The understanding is coming, a liberation is coming. And in this liberation we see that we think we are in a cage, but the cage is disappearing. And this is the Page of Cups. And so I think here is a young Pisces, right? Because it's Cancer and Scorpio and Pisces in the pages. So there are 3 people here. So the 12 and the 3 is, of course, the 15, and the 15 is Capricorn. And Capricorn is that moment where we recognize the career moves that we take, or the career choices we take. And I think you, who is the institution and are the banks, but here this is of course the King of Pentacles, he is holding the money. You gotta let go now with a deeper reference to what life is bringing. So the 14 and the 3 is the 17, and that's Aquarius. So Pluto in Aquarius is making you do this. And you understand here is a 15 and the 6 is left. The 6 and the 2 is the 8. And the 8, again, we understand you learning more and more to come into the understanding that this life is infinite, right? That we have parallel lives happening. Now, what is coming from the Mother Piece Tarot? We get the Emperor facing down slightly to the left. And when the Emperor is facing down, he is not as brutal anymore, because this is Alexander the Great. He was quite emperor that really was brutal. And so in the returning down and to the left, it's almost saying, yes, I am becoming more gentle, because after the Pisces comes Aries, right? And so there we have the 12 and the 4 is the 14, the 14 and the 3 is the 17, the 17 and the 2 is the 19, the Sun. The Sun in Cancer is bringing you do things with more love and liberate the people around you, and don't make them feel like they are here in this prison type of cage, right? And also that the Emperor is facing down. It's almost like these things are now liberating itself. It's almost like there is a time where the truth is coming out. And I want to, of course, see what is Aries saying. And then here comes Aquarius, the King of Swords. And so the King of Swords, he has the 11, and altogether we had the 19. The 19 turns into a 10, and the 10 is then a new cycle can begin through Aquarius, through the age of Aquarius. A new type of thoughts are coming down through these type of people who are generally more conscious, right? They are not just like acting upon whatever is happening. They are more seeing, oh, things are happening for a reason. Then the Knight of Swords. He's the 3rd zodiac sign, and he's getting the King of Wands, which is the 5th zodiac sign. So there's an 8 appearing here. And we see that he's running and he's literally standing very proud, and it's like, okay, we take action. It's almost like you're running to your motorcycle and you want to take action, and you have this one thought that you follow. Meanwhile, he has one action that he takes care of, one after the other. What is coming from the King of Wands? It's the Magician that is appearing, and the Magician is Mercury. And Mercury is actually in Cancer right now, and so you are getting through the Sun in Cancer the answer, right? That, hey, you can be magic. So the 8 and the 1 is the 9. That's the completion. And in that completion, we understand we are the magician if we are listening to the information that comes down, always comes down for you as a knight, but also act upon it and know that you can be this magical personality. What is the magician bringing? He's bringing you many paths. And there are many paths to this life, right? There are 12 zodiac signs. There are 12 ways of expressing ourselves. There are knights, there are kings, and there are queens. And there is fire, and there is water, and there is earth, and there is air. And so many paths creates the 34, and the 34 is the 7. It's the combination of the emperor and the empress. And in there we recognize it's important that the 7 is the emotional intelligence, and that in that emotional intelligence we see the Chariot, we see the Sun in Cancer bringing this. Now, in a way, you are seeing that Cancer is really speaking to you in such a way that you are recognizing, listen to your heart, listen to the emotional intelligence that you have to these cards when you look at them. Then, of course, I want to see what is the Mother Peace Tarot bringing. You get the Shaman of Wands again to the right. And so it's almost saying, yes, you have now understood that the 1 and the 5 is the 6. Here we have the 5. You have a 5-5 portal. So here you have the King of Wands, and here you have the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is now learning to really be a magician and to really come in all of these different paths. But we also had here the 3 and the 5, which is the 8, and the 1 is the 9. The 9 and the 7 is the 16. That's the Tower. And the 16 is the 7. The 7 plus the 5 is the 12. And so you understand we can calculate this together in many different ways and get different results. But in the end, you see that you got to listen, you got to take action, and you know that you are the magician. You are the one that sees many paths through the King of Wands. Take action, not just think about it. Really take actions and see that you are able to have fun, because now we're gonna have the Sun in Leo after this reading, right? So it's already kind of like coming like a prediction here, right? We have twice the King of Wands, and so many paths are opening up for us. Then Uranus. Uranus is the Fool, is bringing you the Chariot. And the Chariot is saying, well, here is Cancer. And Cancer, the Sun in Cancer is going to be over tomorrow. We're going to have the Sun in Leo. And you see that she's going to the right and he's going to the left. It's almost like they are parting ways, right? And Uranus is a new beginning. You are beginning now to go more into adventure, more into the fire element, no more emotions. We are stepping into being fully activated, right? Because that's action. And so here the 7 and the 0 is the 70. What is, of course, Gemini bringing? The King of Cups, and that's Scorpio. And she is almost saying, well, I'm gonna go here into the King of Cups, because she's Cancer and he's Scorpio, both of them the Queen and the King, right? It's kind of like, well, here we are, the 7 and the 8 is the 15. to be successful, we need to work together. We need to be a team, right? That's maybe what's happening here to both of you, the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. Sometimes we gotta adapt. We cannot just always do what we feel like doing. We need to observe how others want to do the things, and we need to collaborate. The 6 is left in the end of the 15, and so the 6 and the 0 is saying, yeah, take that new step into whatever responsibility or whatever work force or community you want to go into. And that's what Uranus, right, in Gemini is bringing you as an information. Listen clearly and carefully. Venus is getting Venus. Venus is coming up as a confirmation that Venus in Cancer right now is saying, well, you can be a Empress. You can be connecting to all 12 zodiac signs. Doesn't matter. Here we also have the 12 inside of her crown, and she is important. So there is a 33 appearing, and the 33 is mastery. In that mastery, we understand that there is also a 3. So we have 3 times the 3. Self-empowerment is on the horizon. A lot of people are waking up and saying no more. We also had the 34 with the many paths, and so you taking action, you going forward, and of course he is the 3, so 4 times a clear 3 is speaking about the heart. Take your heart and make yourself the Empress that you are. What is coming from Cancer? The Ace of Pentacles. Look at that. And so here the 33 and the 1. The one financial aspect that we need to look at is the higher consciousness that brings this type of money, pure money, clean money, not corrupt money. And I think you understand very clearly, to be an Empress means the 3 and the 1. Stand up against any injustice, stand up even against an emperor, even though he's facing down. It's important that we need to know that any moment people can really just take over you, right? Control you, manipulate you, and particularly when there is new money involved. So stand your ground, and that's what the female does more and more. We are really standing up and we're like, we don't want this BS anymore. And so we have the 4, right? Or let's say the 6 and the 1, the 7, the emotional intelligence that understands all of this, the Chariot that goes forward loving and caringly. The Moon in your sign is bringing you the Dust Devil, the moving out of stagnation, the 15. And the Dust Devil is literally saying, well, get up, wake up, keep doing what you have to be doing. And you see that the 15 turns into a 6. Here the 18 in combination, we get the 9, and the 6 again. The 15 is appearing. That's work. That's what do you still want to do? No matter what the signs are, no matter where the planets are, what do you want to achieve? What is your desire? What is your feeling that you get that makes you happy the most? And of course I want to see what is coming from your deck, and you get the King of Cups one more time. So Uranus brought you the King of Cups, which is Scorpio, and now the Moon is bringing you also Scorpio, and Scorpio is that depth that we need to accept when we work. And so here we had the 6 and the 8, that is the 14. And the 14, again, we know that's Sagittarius, that's Temperance, that coming into your center, and the 5 is left. The 5, the High Priest that you are appearing. And we had the 15 before, right? And was speaking about trusting that you are here with the 12 and with those 3, right? Zodiac signs. You had the 15 as well. Take that path into a liberation, into a new way of dealing with work, because also the Emperor was facing down. And so here comes that feeling as well. You are realizing that now, through the Pluto in Aquarius, certain truths are literally now have to come up, and it's like we have no chance to change that. The 5 is left, and the 5 is saying, yes, that's you. That's the bank, the institution, the money that you do not want to maybe put into this old institution, because this is coming after, right? And so you need to learn to work with this money on a whole new level. And that's where the crypto and the Bitcoin is coming in. The Sun in Cancer is bringing you the air, the number 22. And so the combination of the 19 is the 10, and the 22 as a portal we leave. We had the 11 here, right, which is the King of Swords, Aquarius, and we had the 33 here, right, which is also a portal, the spine, the mastery, and now we have the 22, we leave that. So you have the 11, the 22, and the 33. Understand that something is speaking to you, because you're the high priest, you understand these numbers, and you integrate them into your life, and you see the 10. The 22nd of October is like a date speaking here to you. Where are those 6 horses going? They are going into the 4 of Cups, which is the Moon in Cancer. And the 4 of Cups is this enormous happiness, but sometimes already feels like I'm bored. I don't know what to do anymore. I have everything and I have no challenge, and so something is coming here, because the 22, when we calculate together, is a 4. So it's a 44 here, right? And we had here the 4 with the Emperor. So the 4 is here and is literally saying, well, you know when it's time to move forward. You know when you have celebrated enough. You know when you have come into a stagnation. It's almost like you slept so long that it's like, I gotta get up. I have to pee, or I have to eat, or I have to do something, but I gotta get up. I can't lie forever, right? But lying around, yeah, great, but it's like eventually you gotta get up and you gotta do something. And the air that is here, the Aquarian energy that is coming towards us, that is Gemini, right? Uranus in Gemini, and Gemini is saying, well, this is where the information lies. We're gonna have a lot of information coming to us, and when we understand it, we can do something with it. And so of course the 10 and the 4 is again the 14, then the 5 is left, the 22nd of May. Maybe that's an important date that is letting you know, yes, I gotta really look at this and be like, I am able to do what I'm doing, because it's time now to do it, because the Empress is here and the Emperor is here and the many path is here. The 3 and the 4, that's the 7, a 77 here, right? In the Cancer, in the Chariot, in the emotional intelligence, we know what we want, we know where we're gonna head towards, and we head towards a place where the truth comes towards us. The truth is a force that we cannot stop, right? Lies will always be discovered as lies, and the truth is what sets us free, and the truth is that liberation from certain energies that have hold us back, because they're afraid that your freedom may actually bring them harm, right? And it's not like that. Once we're free, we're going, right? We're moving on. And that freedom is important. That freedom is like how animals are function, right? No animal will actually put someone in a cage or will do something only because it's hungry. It's gonna eat it, right? Some take a little longer to eat something, right? And some literally, I mean, you're dead within seconds, and that's where the brutality lies, right? But There's no like, I'm gonna torture you, I'm gonna do terrible things to you. And so see that the magician has come and brought you then together the 8. And the 8 is that moment of infinite understanding that the love can be expressed in so many different ways. So I thank you so much for being with me. So I will, of course, keep you updated. If my channel starts to continue again, I will let you know. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.